Hello, how are you? Well, this is the video for 6th year, okay? How are you doing these days? Well, so, in this video we're going to work with Unit 7 of the face-to-face, which is the first unit of this level, okay? You're going to work with Selene in the Google Classroom, all the grammar written tasks, yes, grammar and vocabulary written, and here in the video we're going to deal with the grammar as well, but I want to explain it a little bit in case the exercises are not so clear, okay? Remember that my mobile phone, the WhatsApp, is open for any questions, doubts. If we can make video calls, you can phone me, whatever you need to clear your doubts, okay? The WhatsApp and the mail as well. So you can choose, and you have the Google Classroom. So you have all those ways to communicate, yes, and have a fluent communication that way, yes? So now we're going to deal with the most important aspects of Unit 7 so that you can work with the exercises and advance with the unit, okay? So, the unit begins. This is not the same book you have because this is the old edition. The teachers have the other book, so I'm going to use this one, but the contents are the same. Yes, the grammar aspects and the vocabulary areas are dealt with in the same way. The pictures may be different, okay, but the book is mainly the same. So then Selene is going to tell you what you have to do from these pages. Yes, I assume that you're going to complete the first exercise in which you have some verbs in black, and those verbs are state verbs, which is part of what we are going to work with now. Yes, so I'm going to focus on first state verbs, and I'm going to focus on the help with grammar. Yes, the simple and continuous aspects. I'm going to work with this. Yes, I'm going to go through that explanation. So, as you know, or you should know, in English we have two aspects: the simple verb forms and the continuous verb forms. So, what is this? What is the aspect? Well, the aspect tells us, yes, or refer to different kind of actions. For example, when we are using simple verb forms, we are referring to something that is repeated and completed. For example, when I use simple present, I usually buy the newspaper. Or if I use the present perfect, I've just written the email I had to send to my boss. Yeah, so it's a completed action, and repeated if I tell you I usually buy the newspaper in the morning, but it's that action itself. Whereas the continuous verb forms refer, as you can say, you can deduce from the word, something that is continuous is something that is in progress. If I tell you I was cooking when the phone rang, cooking, that action was in progress. It was happening, it never finished. I don't know what happened next. Or if I tell you I have been writing for hours, I've been writing for hours, it means that the action hasn't finished. I continue writing. Yes, can you see the difference? So that has to do with simple and continuous. Okay? So, to use or to make the simple aspect and the continuous aspect, we have to use verbs. In English, there is two main categories of verbs, which are action verbs and state verbs. This is a very important idea that you need to have present all the time, because we're going to repeat it throughout the units and all your as long as you study English. So it's action verbs or activity verbs or active verbs and state or stative verbs. Well, action verbs of course refer to actions, activities, and they can be used in the simple aspect or in the continuous aspect. For example, play, eat, jump, swim. All the verbs that I often tell my students that you can think them as the verbs that you can represent with, you can mime. Yes, swim, cook. Yes, I usually swim in the club, or you can say, I am swimming now. So I can have the simple form and the continuous aspect of the verb. Whereas the state verbs are the ones that refer to states, feelings, opinions, likes and dislikes. So those verbs are usually only found in the simple form, in the simple aspect. I don't usually use them in the continuous form. For example, the typical, anyway, then in the book you have the verbs written for you. I'm going to tell you some examples. The verb belong, possess, want. I can tell you, I want a new computer. I don't tell you, I am wanting. I am wanting, no. You're not going to see that form because want is a state verb. We don't use it with ing. Okay? The verbs of likes and dislikes. You say, I like chocolate. You like it. You like it or you don't like it. It's a state. It doesn't change all the time. You can't say, I am liking. No. You like or you don't like. You don't say, I am liking. Okay? So those are state verbs. Verbs that are not usually found with ing in the continuous form. Okay? So in the book, in Unit 7, you have an exercise where you have to write a state or action, an S or an A, to identify state verbs and action verbs. And there, for example, you have hate with an S because hate is a state verb. You hate or you don't hate. Whereas play has an A because play is an action verb. You can say I play or I am playing, and they are both possible and correct. Yes? And then you have an exercise where you have to put the verbs in the correct form. You can do that. There you have to, in fact, you have to put the verbs in the correct tense, and when you do that, you have to use a simple form or a continuous form. Okay? Well, is it clear up to now? Yes? Could you follow me? Am I going too fast? Well, I hope it's clear. Okay? I hope. Well, then there is another exercise here, number 7. In my book, it's this one, in which you have some verbs be, have, think, and see. Well, and you have pairs of sentences. The thing is that these verbs, be, have, think, and see, can be used. They have two meanings. If they are a state, they mean one thing, and when they are active, they mean a different thing. They can be used in both ways. Okay? They can describe activities, but they can also describe states. For example, if I tell you, I have long hair. I have long hair. This is a state. Okay? I have long hair. It's something that is a state. It doesn't change suddenly or all the time. Okay? But I can tell you, I am having a great time these days. Or I am having a great time now with you. This is something, it means experiencing in this case. And it's not a state because it only affects this period of time. Yes, so I can say I have or I am having. They're both okay, but the meaning is different. Yes? In one is possess, I have long hair, I possess long hair, or I am having a great time, which means I am experiencing a great time. Another example is the verb think. When I use think in the simple form, it means to have an opinion. I think biology is a hard subject. So that's my opinion. Now, if I tell you, I am thinking of buying a new computer, I am thinking of buying a new computer, in that case, think means consider. I am considering. Yes? I am, considering. Yes, doing something. In this case, buying a new computer. Yes? So the meaning is different. And one so much used verb, which is verb to be, also has these two possibilities. I can say, for example, Tom is usually very quiet. He's a quiet boy, Tom. Yes, so I use be for a permanent characteristic of Tom. However, I can say Tom is usually very quiet, but these days he's being terribly noisy, terribly naughty. So he's behaving just for these days in a different way. Okay? So those verbs can be simple or state according to the meaning in the sentence or in the context. So this exercise deals with those verbs and their two meanings. Okay? Very good. And, so this is the grammar content for 7a. Okay? 7a deals with simple and continuous aspects and state and action verbs. After watching this part of the video, you can pause it and do the homework you had that Selene sent you related to 7a, as well as the exercises from these 2 pages in the book. Okay? After doing that, if you have doubts or questions, write me, send me a message, whatever you want, and ask me, and Cele as well, the doubts you have. Okay? Well, we finished 7a. We move on to 7b. 7b. And I am going to deal with this part of the grammar, yes, the help with grammar, which is the difference between present perfect simple and present perfect continuous. Of course, present perfect is a tense that you have worked with 1,000 times. It's something that you know and have studied, yes, many times these last years. But here we're going to focus on the specific differences between present perfect simple and present perfect continuous. You know that sometimes they are used one or the other without much difference in meaning, but there are some cases in which you can use only one of them and not both. Okay, so we're going to focus on those differences. So, present perfect in general is a tense that connects the past with the present. Yes, it's a connection, it's a link between the past and the present. Actions that start in the past and continue in the present, or actions or states that start in the past and have a result in the present. Actions that, for personal experiences, we don't mention when they happen, but they are personal experiences, so we use present perfect. That is in general. But now we are going to focus on the differences between simple and continuous. Okay? Well, the format I believe is clear, right? We use present perfect simple with the auxiliary verb, in this case have or has, plus the past participle form of the verb. I have lived. I have studied. He has bought something. That is the present perfect simple. And we use it for states that started in the past and continue in the present. Yes? For completed actions that happened recently, but we don't know why. As when I tell you, I've been to New York. I've been to New York, it's a personal experience, it's something I did, yes, that is completed because now I'm here, but I don't tell you why, I don't specify why. With the superlative form, when I use the superlative, I have to use the present perfect simple. If I tell you this is the best book I have ever read, I use the present perfect simple. This is the most delicious cake I've ever eaten, I use the present perfect simple. Okay? What happens with the present perfect continuous? Well, we use it for longer actions that started in the past and continue in the present. It has to be an action verb. A long action, for example, I've been working for this company for 10 years. It's a longer action and it continues in the present. With long actions that have a result in the present. For example, I've been walking around for a long time, so now I'm exhausted. So it's a long action that continues and leaves a result. And for repeated actions. Imagine that I tell you, I've been going on holiday to the coast for 10 years. What does it mean? That it's a repeated action. Every summer I go to the coast. So I can use the present perfect continuous to emphasize that I've been doing the same thing year after year. Okay? But one of the main differences has to do with the present perfect simple focusing on the result. So I say, I've written 4 letters. So I focus on the result. 4. I've written 4 letters. That is what I am interested in. The present perfect continuous focuses on the action. I've been writing letters all morning. So the important thing there, my attention is on the fact that I've been writing letters. So I focus on the action. Whereas in the present perfect simple, I focus on the result. What I care about are the 4 letters that I've written. Okay? Or, for example, I can tell you, I've been baking cakes all day long. Important thing, baking cakes. Or I can tell you, well, I have already baked 4 cakes. Important thing, the result, the number of cakes in this case. Yes? Another important difference is the completeness of the action. If I tell you, oh, I'm exhausted, I've been painting the room. I've been painting the room. I focus on the action, and if I use the present perfect continuous, I tell you, yes, I don't tell you, but it's implied, that I've been painting, but I haven't finished. Whereas, if I use the present perfect simple, it means that I finished it. If I tell you, I painted the room, would you like to see it? It means that I have finished with the painting. Okay? And one more difference is that I use the present perfect simple for short actions. And this is, it has to do more with common sense. Imagine that I do something with my glasses and I accidentally break them. I'm going to tell you, I've broken my glasses. Yes, I can't say I've been breaking because it's a punctual action, it's a short action. So I'm going to use the present perfect simple. I've broken my glasses. Whereas if the action is long, I use the present perfect continuous. I've been studying all day long. I've been studying for hours. Yes, it's not a short action, it's a long action, so I use the continuous form. Well, so these are the main differences between present perfect simple and present perfect continuous. Was it clear? You have the same thing here in the book. So now you can work with this grammar part. You can read it there. You have the uses of each of the tenses, yes, with some examples. And here, this is a very interesting exercise because you have pairs of sentences. Pairs of sentences with the same verb. One is in the present perfect simple and one is in the present perfect continuous. So you have to realize which one is in simple or continuous. So this is very interesting. I recommend you do it. As well as, basically that, okay, from this page. Then Cele is going to tell you what else you should do, right? Well, and then in 7C, there is a vocabulary exercise that we could work with here, so that then you only do the practice, right? Which are prefixes. So 7C, it says, help with vocabulary, and there we have prefixes. So you know that a prefix is a word or a syllable that we place before another word to give extra meaning. So here we have a list of prefixes and we have the meaning, and you have to give an example. Prefix, meaning, example. So we're going to go through them so that you can complete the table, okay? So let's see. The first one is pro. Pro, the meaning is for, it's there completed. And the example we have is pro hunting. Yes? So it means in favor of. Yes? In favor of. Pro hunting, in favor of hunting. Okay? The opposite of that is anti. Anti. So the meaning of anti is against. Against. So anti-nuclear. Anti-war. Against. Okay, do you understand? Against, en contra de. Right? Then we have pre. Pre is very similar to the meaning in Spanish, means before. So when we speak of something that happened pre-war, it means before the war. That's why we call a preview. Yes, it's when the view is before the rest. Okay? The opposite of this is post. Post is after. So pre-war, era de la preguerra, post-war would be posguerra, something that happened after the war. Or the word that you studied last year, I believe, postgraduate, a person who has already graduated. So, as if after the graduation you are a postgraduate. Then we have under. Under means not enough. Está por debajo, it's not enough. The typical is undercooked. It's not cooked enough. Underqualified, when you don't have enough qualifications to get some job, for example. Over is the opposite. Over is too much. So overqualified is a person who is too much qualified for a job. Too qualified for a job, sorry. Okay? Today I say undercooked. Well, overcooked is something that has been cooked for a long time. Yes? Multi. Multi, very similar to Spanish, means many. So, for example, when you say multinational, it's something with many nations. Multicultural, with many cultures. Multimillionaire, because he has many millions. Okay? Re means to do something again. When you have an exercise and the teacher says, redo it, well, do it again. Reread it, read it again. Redecorate it, decorate it again. Okay? Miss. Miss is when you do something incorrectly, in the wrong way. So, if you say, I misunderstood the exercise, it means that I understood it in the incorrect way. Yes? Misuse. It's to use in the incorrect way. Ex is very similar to Spanish, something that used to be ex-wife, ex-husband, ex-president, etc. Self, everything that has the word self means by yourself. Okay, so self-defense is when you defend yourself. Self-discipline is to discipline yourself. Okay? And non means not. The typical non-smoking, for example. A non-smoking area means that not smoking is permitted there. Yes? So this is just vocabulary, but well, it's useful for you to know it. And here what you have are some, you have to complete the chart using the examples in the text. Okay? Well, so this is mainly the most important, these are mainly the most important contents of Unit 7. Now with Cele you're going to work the rest of all the practice of these contents, and she's going to give you some exercises to put this into practice. Well, I hope to see you soon, please. But well, if not, I invite you to keep a fluent communication. Please send me WhatsApp, phone me, write, text me, yes, the way you prefer. But let's keep in touch with me and as well with Selene, okay? So that we can go through this period in the best possible way, okay? Well, I hope this has been clear for you, right? If not, tell me. You have to go more slowly and I will do it, okay? Tell me. Well, bye-bye, secure. Hope to see you soon. Work a lot and behave, okay? See you.